Tom catch his voice here for a second. We're heading back. We should be getting back to the hotel in 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. Again, the plan for tonight, everybody get cleaned up, relax for a little bit. We're going to be walking into the restaurant at 6 o'clock. Near as we can tell by Google and checking things out, it's 15-20 minute top drive. I'd like to plan on getting back on the bus no later than 5:35, please. Try to give us time to get there. They know obviously we are coming. They're going to have the buffet ready for us to start eating at 6:30. Then after that we'll go through our wrap-up meeting and the picture quiz. While I have everybody's attention, on tomorrow, I know we did list leaving approximately 9 o'clock. That is flexible. Give me a show of hands if everybody would like to keep it at an 8 o'clock departure as we've been doing. And a show of hands to push it back just a little bit to 9, get a little more rest. Okay, thanks. It's about a 50-50 here.
It's 8:30 then.
There you go. Well, let's make it 8:30 departure time then. That's right in the middle. So again,
We're going to cut the baby in half.
yeah, what we will be doing tomorrow, it's about what, Rick, a 3.5 hour drive? We will be having breakfast at the hotel. We may stop at a restaurant, but we will not be breaking for lunch going back, being only 3.5 hour drive with a breakfast in us. That'll get you back earlier. We should be leaving the restaurant tonight. I'd say no later than 9 o'clock to come back, if not earlier. The game that matters tonight for people does start about 9 o'clock, I believe. Now I'm thinking Tennessee time here though, so regardless we'll be getting back. At least everybody can see the second half. John Davis, did you want to say something while I got everybody?
Yeah, 1 week from tonight we will have our April meeting. I just want to tell you a little bit about that. Hopefully most of you will be at the April meeting. His Excellency, the President, will be in New Orleans or on somewhere, Memphis, somewhere on a trip. So we won't have our newspaper. Sorry about that. I'll apologize ahead of time. But just to tell you a little bit about the meeting, Ann Marshall, a professor at Mississippi State, who's written a book about Kentucky after the Civil War and what happened. And we all know that Kentucky became a Confederate state after the Civil War. Most of us know that, but what we don't know is why. And that's what her book is about. Her talk is entitled Ripe for Mutiny, Lincoln and Loyalty in Civil War Kentucky. And she will explain how Abraham Lincoln began to alienate Kentuckians during the Civil War and how that will eventually lead to Kentucky becoming Confederate. So, just wanted to give you a little teaser about that. Hopefully we'll see everyone next week.
Thank you, John. Also, I do want to remind people, per Doug's request, the Bourbon and Barbecue is coming up, and if you are wanting to attend, it is filling up, so your payments are due at this meeting John just talked about, so keep that in mind too. Before I give it back over to Tom, does anybody have any questions on our plans for tonight or tomorrow?
I might have about the Prince.
Sorry?
Prince. Sheet music.
Again, we also have the sheet music that is up on the silent auction. Don't forget about that. I believe that will be out also at the meeting John talked about next Saturday, so please take another look at that. It all goes to good causes. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Tom.
Okay. Yeah, but that's not 6. You're already going to meet us there? Okay.
So folks, what I'm going to do is meet you over there at Stoneworks. I appreciate the invitation to come there. Number one, as I said from second one, when I met you, that it's been a great pleasure and honor and privilege to be with you for these 3 days. I hope I passed the test, or I was worth my salt, so to speak, or to be with you. And two, the load sales, you're always welcome to the load sales. We're nonprofit. We receive no federal, state, or local government money. We're only there because of you. Only there because of you. I'm working on a show and thing about letters from the war. And I'm glad the lady, I do not know her name, she read that letter to me from that 14th Mississippi soldier killed at Nashville. Probably killed by that stone wall just across that Granny White is where he probably got it. And the only bad thing about these tours for me is saying goodbye. But I'm going to say goodbye later. And I've said that for 25 years. But there ain't no goodbyes until we meet again. But JT wants to make sure, you know, you're always welcome to the load sales. Always. And always have a home there. The light's always on, so to speak. And let's see. I always end with some humor on a tour. So how about this? Indiana soldier, by the way. General Wade Hampton in Virginia, a fine cavalry commander. Greg Biggs thinks he's better than Jeff Stewart too, by the way. But he rode up to this creek, and there's a little federal soldier naked, bathing. And here's General Wade Hampton and his staff looking at him. And the boy stands up, butt naked. And Hampton looks at him and said, sir, do you know? And he could see his clothes on the bank there in Federal. He said, sir, do you know that you're within enemy lines? He said, I do now. He said, put your clothes on. He put the clothes on. He said, how old are you? 16. He says, where's the enemy? About that way, a half a mile. He said, do you think you can make your way back to him? Yes, sir. Go on. He said, thank you, thank you, thank you. What is your name? General Wade Hampton, Confederate States of America. He said, if I live through this war, I'm going to name my son after you. So years later, Senator Wade Hampton in Washington, and this boy comes up to him. He says, are you General Wade Hampton? Former General, now Senator Wade Hampton. He says, my name is Wade Hampton Smith. My daddy named me for you. And that's the boys. And Hampton laughed and roared, hugged them, tears coming out his cheeks, laughing so hard. And they kept a correspondence for the rest of their lives. Hampton's life, but the boy lived it longer. So I like, that's a great story. I was getting goosebumps on that. In the midst of all that hell and horror, there are some good things and funny things. Yeah, I give a lecture on just humor in the Civil War. It's something light, something different, and just all the funny stories and such, and that's just one of them. That's a pleasant story to end with. Thank you so much for allowing me to be with you. I'll always be grateful.
Thank you, and on a personal note, I want to thank you. You've made my job easy. I do appreciate that. 5:35 tonight, okay?